Welcome back to Realistic Fishing. Well, we need to do some talking about the last video. I received a lot of heat and a lot of hate because I got frustrated that two people didn't respect me, my space, or the fact that I was fishing 8 feet away. In fact, I got so much heat that I made a poll on my channel asking who likes to be left alone while they're fishing. The choices were, let me fish in peace, come over here and talk to me. Over 1,500 answers, and the overwhelming majority say let me fish in peace. 86%. So for everyone out there who thinks I'm crazy because I want to be left alone while fishing, 86% of us must be crazy because they want to be left alone while fishing. You know, I sort of understand that people were getting a little sensitive because the people who caused this incident were older. Older gentlemen, probably 60-something. I can kind of understand why some people are getting sympathetic or empathetic or are emotionally attached to the two guys who pretty much ruined the morning of fishing. I get it. I do. They're older. You know, people have grandparents and they know older people and they think that they should cut them some slack. And I agree. I was polite to their face. It's my rant afterwards that people are getting really mad about. So I don't want to hear their stories. I don't want to hear the rumors they're telling about other fishermen. I'm not into gossip, right? Don't get mad at me because I'm pointing out that these guys are doing something foolish. They're spreading rumors, they're scaring the fish, and they're not respecting a fisherman 8 feet away. I mean, these guys were causing a ruckus. And you know what's even more strange about this is the people giving me grief over this are treating me far worse than I treated those two guys. Call me jackass, dickhead, shut up you crybaby, this kind of stuff. Pretty sure I just said okay and I chatted with them for a minute or two or 5 and then I just left. I didn't tell these guys they were being jackasses. I didn't tell them to get lost. I didn't do anything. It's so bizarre to me that I'm not even allowed to vent my frustration when these two guys just kind of botched my fishing video. You can insult me all you want in the comments, but it's not going to stop me from doing the show. I'm not going to respect you more if you start calling me names, so, you know. And in the long run, you're probably just going to end up getting banned from the comments section because, you know, I get tired of reading comments where people are getting too emotional and they're not thinking clearly with what the situation was presenting.
Hey fans, this is the headliner Chris Michaels, and you are watching Realistic Fishing, so I'd advise you to keep it realistic.
There was a comment by someone saying, you should have just went somewhere else. Well, you should have just watched the video. There was someone else downstream from me, there was someone else upstream from me. I even explained in the video, this is the last spot right here. And that's part of what made the whole ordeal so frustrating. So these angry commenters must not have read all the other comments on the video, because there's well over 100 instances of people telling about their experience of creepy people bothering them while they're fishing. I was reading stories posted by women and girls talking about creepy men coming up on them while they're fishing, telling them how to fish, that they're doing it wrong. You don't have any sympathy for them? You don't have any sympathy for people who are trying to fish and, regardless of their age, people are bothering them? I even saw some comments and researched it a little bit. In several states, it is illegal to interfere with someone while they're fishing. Against the law to pester fishermen. I kind of like that idea. I don't really believe in laws and regulations, maybe as a last resort. But I find that interesting because I bet they got pestered a lot before they petitioned their government to do something about it. I also had some comments saying things like, well, you're in public, or you're at the park, or you're out fishing, so you need to accept that people are going to approach you and talk to you and converse. And guess what? I know that, right? I've talked to plenty of people out there. A passing hello, or are you catching any, or good luck, or hey, you're realistic fishing. I'm totally fine with all that. But this video is different. These guys were lingering. They were waving their arms, pointing, yelling, causing a commotion. This isn't the, hey, are you catching anything? I caught him over here on worms yesterday. See ya. And some of these comments I'm reading, it doesn't even seem like you watched the video. You're just like, oh, realistic fishing's being a dick again. If you're gonna give me advice on how to behave and how to react to people, at least watch the video and try to see it from my side, weigh out what happened, then give me your advice. I don't really want your emotional backlash as advice. I'm just not gonna accept that.
I'm Tammy from Texas, and you're watching Realistic Fishing. Keep it realistic.
So just imagine you're out fishing. Let's say you're 25, right? And you're casting for trout, and there's people all over, and you found the spot where there is nobody, and I come trouncing through the woods, and you hear off in the distance, did you catch any? Right? It's me. Did you catch any? And you say no. And I continue to walk my way down about 6, 7, 8 feet away. And I see a fish swim by and I'm like, there's one. There's one right there. Are you going to just stop what you're doing and cast right where I pointed? Are you going to get frustrated that I'm scaring all the fish away? Right? I'm your elder. I'm older than you. You're 25. I know everything. I can get away with everything because I'm older. The arguments I'm seeing here are just bizarre. I know they were older. I gave them enough respect. I didn't bitch at them. I didn't call them out. I didn't say anything rude to their face. When they made me feel uncomfortable, I left. I guess you just can't handle that I was feeling frustrated. When I have the camera on, strapped to my chest, I'm working. I put a lot of time and effort into this show, and I was frustrated, right? I'm out there to catch trout, make a fishing video, and instead it ended up being a video about people bothering me while I'm fishing. People ruining the last spot I had to fish. I don't want to make that kind of video. I want to make a video about fishing. I guess you just don't understand that. Let's say you have a job where you're out in public doing your job. Hanging cable, mowing the grass, painting buildings, whatever it might be. Do you really want me coming up and being like, you missed a spot, or there's something you forgot to pick up right there, or any other interruption or pestering you for 5 minutes, telling you stories about other painters? I mean, would you really want that? So yeah, this opinion that I should expect to be pestered or bothered or talked to or approached just because there are other people around is kind of ridiculous. Do you want people coming up to you at the store, pointing at stuff in your cart? Oh, I see you got the meatloaf. There's a meatloaf on sale over there. Oh, you got the lettuce? I like lettuce. Let me tell you a story about my granddaughter and lettuce. I don't know what kind of people enjoy that, but it ain't me, and I have a feeling it ain't most of the people out there.
Hi, I'm John from Northern Grit, and you're watching Realistic Fishing. Keep it realistic.
I also saw some comments saying, he's just being friendly, and I know that. I even mentioned that in the first video. But friendly people sometimes do things that aren't friendly, right? There's a difference between friendly like, hi, and what you doing? Some people consider small talk friendly. Sure, I get that. But I don't consider strangers bothering me while I'm trying to work friendly. You know, there's a threshold there. After a minute, I might start getting a little frustrated, especially if I'm in the middle of something. If I'm having a drink at the bar and you see me and you want to buy me a beer and talk to me about fishing, that's totally different. I was standing there, minding my own business, trying to make a video, and these two guys didn't get the hint. I told them they're scaring all the fish away, and they continued to tell me stories. I also saw a lot of comments making excuses for him, you know, inventing his past. He's an old man, his family may have died, maybe he doesn't have any friends. Maybe he's just so lonely that he needs someone to talk to. Well, if you watch the video, he came walking down the trail with his buddy. His buddy is standing there the whole time, but he turns and singles me out. Because I'm fishing, and he knows all about the trout, and he's going to enlighten me while scaring all the fish away. His buddy was right there. I really don't think he's so lonely and desperate that he just needs someone to talk to. And if you watch the video carefully and listen to what he's saying, he's making it clear that he was at that same spot yesterday, and he knows where the fish are because some old boy was there and he caught 17 fish. They're right there where you're standing. Well, they were. That's what he says in the video. So, he's been at it for 2 days. This isn't just him, an old man wandering through the park, desperate for someone to talk to. This is a bank buzzard looking for someone to bother. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the guy walked up to every fisherman there to tell them stories. So like I touched on earlier, the people complaining that I got frustrated are being far more nasty to me than I was to them. I guess, you know, realistic fishing isn't allowed to have feelings of frustration, right? I'm not allowed to be disappointed when rude people do rude things. Why are you guys sympathizing with the rude person who was clearly intruding on my space? I just don't get it. Maybe it's because you like to bother people while they're out fishing. You really got to dig in on your position. You can't see it from my side. And I understand. Stubborn people do things like that. What can I do? You know, I guess just ignore ya if you get on my nerves too much.
This is Seth from Goodsville, Tennessee. You're watching Realistic Fishing. Keep it realistic.
Some people are going so far out of their way to make it seem like you just can't talk to realistic fishing. He's untouchable. He's high and mighty. Someone even called me high and mighty. And that is a big pile of horse shit. I am the everyday fisherman. I'm representing 86% of the people out there in this case. And I talk to tons of people out there. And guess what? I usually don't get too bothered. You know, some people are like, oh, hey, you're realistic fishing. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, you catching any? I'm like, a bluegill or two. But if you linger and chat my ear off and bother me, and you're obviously scaring the fish away and you don't care, realistic fishing is gonna get a little upset. I'll be polite to your face. I'll say something like, I gotta get going now. But what? I'm not allowed to be upset that you're crowding me? I like my space just like 86% of the people out there. There was a guy in my favorite spot. There was a guy coming from the other side. I did not go bother him. I did not go bother the other guy. I didn't say a word to them. I gave them their space because I know that's what's best for the fishing. Sure, someone might give you some tips. Someone might want to give you some worms that are left over. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about going fishing with your girlfriend or your friends and talking with them. I'm talking about strangers and people who are just looking to pester you. These people can get annoying, and if you don't like that opinion, what can I say? So yeah, to kind of finish up talking about this topic, there are people out there who complain all the time. The people who are hassling me over my frustration, telling me I'm not allowed to be uncomfortable because two old guys ruined the fishing spot. You're complaining when you leave a comment telling me to just shut up and quit being a jackass. You're complaining when you tell me to quit complaining. You don't see the hypocrisy in your behavior? I actually have a legitimate reason to be upset. You have some emotional response as your reason. So, cut realistic fishing some slack. If I get frustrated over something, no, it's not the end of the world. What is it? My deep voice? Is this the reason you're getting so mad when I express my frustration? Anyway, let's move on. We're gonna do something cool when I come back.
Hey guys, this is Jacob from the Chaos Paddlers. You're watching Realistic Fishing. Keep it realistic.
Alright, time to liven things up. We're gonna get off the dull, droll subject of complaining and complainers and move on to trivia. Realistic fishing trivia. If you answered the last question, what sport am I into most besides fishing? With wrestling, you're entered to win. And here's what you're entered to win. We got a rattle trap, knockin' trap, a bandit crankbait, a booyah pad crasher, and a flea flicker finesse jig. Got my trusty Oscar the Grouch drawing cup. And let's pick a winner. The winner for Realistic Fishing Trivia is Jason Kinzer. I know it's really small, but hopefully you can read that. Jason Kinzer, you just won trivia. Get a hold of me at realisticfishing@gmail.com. Get me that shipping information, and we'll get these baits sent out to you. Congratulations once again, Jason Kinzer. Now we're going to move on to the next round of trivia. I need to think of a question. I got it. Who sent me the Realistic Fishing Championship? Go to realisticfishing.com, click on trivia. If you know who sent me the championship, enter it for a chance to win. Win what? Let's see. Here's the prize pack for the upcoming trivia. We got a rattle trap. We got a Storm Wigglewort. We got a pack of Tokyo rig hooks. We got some Rage tails. And a pack of Jackal Yammy fish. If you know who sent me the championship, go to realisticfishing.com, click on trivia, and enter for your chance to win. Thanks for watching Realistic Fishing. Keep it realistic.